Hello, Thornhill first graders. It's Mr. Rich, Grandpa Rich, and I want to show you something that we couldn't show you at school, but we can show you here in Grandma Rich and Grandpa Rich's kitchen. Okay. I want you to see this because this is one of the best things that my students years ago saw when I was a science teacher, 20 years ago or so, 30 years ago. I want you to see this, and the only way we can do it is to do it here in the kitchen. We have a can, a metal can, and we have one opening at the top. I put some water into it, so it has a little bit of water. What we're going to try to do is, we're going to get it so hot by turning the stove on. Okay, we're going to get a lot of heat coming in. Now, the heat gets so hot inside the can that the little BBs of water and the little BBs of air that are in there, the little BBs of water, they bump and they bump and they bump and they bump and they bump, 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 and they knock the air out. So a lot of the air and the little BBs of water, they should be coming up out of the top of this can. As it goes, really, this is about the hot as I can get it, and maybe, I don't know, it would be better if that light was off in the back. Let's see. The one in the back is that one, yes.
What's the fire extinguisher for?
Well, in case the kitchen catches on fire, we should put the fire out with the fire extinguisher. All kitchens and garages should have a fire extinguisher. And we have a big one in our garage, but this one is here. And what we're doing is we want to get as much heat. Oh, it's steaming. Now, does it show the steam coming out? I saw a little steam. Does it show it real good there, or is it better with the light behind it? Whoop.
I don't know if I'm able to see the steam.
Are you able to see any steam? Part of the problem might be that the background is not good. I can see the steam. And the steam is water, little BBs of water. Maybe you could show it. Good.
Oh, it's hot over here.
Okay, we're trying to get air. Now we're trying to get air out of the can. Remember a couple of weeks ago, first graders, we talked about the air around the earth. We are under it. Five miles or so of air. And all of this air in the atmosphere of the earth is pushing on us. It's pushing down like a bunch of blankets. It's really heavy. And it's pushing on this can. If we can get the air out of the can, then the air pushing on the outside of the can will be a lot more than the air on the inside of the can. We're going to get most of the air out. This should do it if it goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, but I can't tell. I see steam coming out. I want to get as much air out as possible. Then we're going to put a cork in the top of the can. That means that the air pressure on the inside will be almost nothing because there won't be air in there. There will be almost no air. And all this air on the outside that is pushing on us and it's pushing on everything, it might have an effect on the metal can. When I've done this in my classroom years ago, it was fantastic. It was fun to see because it's almost like magic. I think we're ready. We're getting close. Air, get out of the can. I think we're getting there. I got the cork. I got the little cork ready. I'm going to put on...
Show us the cork.
The cork is going to go in the top of the can. A cork in the top of the can. Now, see, the problem is I want to get as much air out as possible. And when the steam stops, I still see some steam. We get a lot coming out. I think we're about ready. We could try it. But the more air that's out of the can, you see a little steam still coming out, right? The more air that is out of the can, the better this works.
So,
I think...
Mr. Rich, this can says engineered fuel and oil.
Aaron,
that is not in there.
We cleaned out the can.
Just making sure that everyone knows that is not what
it was an empty can. to start with, except it had air in it.
Water.
It put a little water in, and now I think that probably it's about as good as it's going to get. I'm going to turn off the fire. I'm going to bring the can over to this area right here. I'm going to put the cork in it as fast as I can. Come on, we got to get this in here.
Kids, do not try this at home.
Wait a minute. Yeah, do not try this at home. Oh. Come on, you. Oh. You can even hear it. It's already starting because it's cooling off in the can. Okay. This is the important part. There's almost no air pressure inside, and there's a lot of air pressure on the outside of this can. So, let's watch the can closely. Do you have it up as close as you can? Look at this can.
From the side.
Whatever you get, I can turn the can too, you know. But just show the can. Come on, it's already bending a little bit. Oh, the back side. Look. That's the weak side. We didn't see it. Look at the can. Oh. What is happening to the can? It's almost like magic. But what it really shows is the air pressure in this room. The air pressure on the outside of this can is so great. Look what it's doing to the can. It would take a lot of force to do that. The air has a lot of pressure. Oh, this is one of the best I've ever seen. I've done this in my classroom, and the best ones ended up about like this, or maybe crushed even a little more than this. This is pretty good. Now, you can see here that the can air pressure has forced the can, pushed the metal, kind of crushed it. And let's see, as it cools, the pressure on the outside has made this about as crushed as it's going to get. Maybe a little more. And I'd like to add one thing at the end here. After you've seen how air pressure can crush things, let's just set it right. It's not going to lay like this, and you can get a good look at that. Here, there's a good crush view. Let me just add at the end, after you see the crush, I want to add one thing. The ocean, the deep ocean, if you go 5 or 6 or 7 miles down under the ocean, the water of the ocean does the same thing. It's got a lot of pressure and it squeezes things. So some of the fish that are living close to the bottom of the ocean, they have pressure on them, and they have pressure on their inside to match the pressure on the outside. But if humans get into a submarine, and if the humans go in the ocean and somehow they lose control of the submarine, and the submarine goes lower and lower and lower in the ocean, well, they don't want this to happen, but there have been some situations where our Navy has had submarines that they lose their control, they lose their engines, and they drop so low that this happens to the submarine. But we have had some of our sailors, some of our Navy guys have died because Navy submarines have had this happen under the ocean. So this shows you that the air that we have all around us, we take it for granted, we breathe it in and we breathe it out. It has huge pressure, enough to crush a can, which you see right here. Thank you.